You mentioned that Ronald Reagan couldn't get the bureaucracies shut. That, he didn't have he had a Democratic
Most of it, yeah,
Congress.
he did.
And George Bush actually really dropped the ball on that,
Right.
because he had the
Totally.
Republicans.
They had the chance and they blew it.
Then that could have been done.
Yes. I mean, that is the greatest political mistake in our generation, and nothing else is even remotely close. Is that we had the opportunity to do what is
What's
aligned
right.
with our principles, and we did not do it.
Do you think that you had enough real Republicans in there then? I mean, if they saw the opportunity and didn't take it, then...
Now?
Well, no, I'm talking about, you just talked about, they had the opportunity and we didn't do it. And do you think that, as you watch some of these Republicans, they just go further and further and further to the left, that you almost sometimes run into a more conservative Democrat than you do a Republican?
Well, I have not seen a conservative Democrat in a long time. Now, they may mouth that they're conservative, but you look how they vote.
Tim Sheldon.
Tim Sheldon is
Yeah,
very
Tim
conservative.
Sheldon is local though.
He's local, he's not, I'm talking about national stuff.
He's not from here, he wouldn't know
Right.
Tim.
I've heard his
We
name.
do have a very good, Tim Sheldon is
Yeah.
very
Yeah, I'm
good.
sure there are, you know, it's a big country. But there are way too many rhinos there now, but I think they're getting sniffed out. I really do.
But even on the other side, like you were saying, the Blue Dog Democrats, they were really...
It's a facade. There are
They
no
were
Blue
doing
Dog.
the theatrics, like
Right.
Sestak in the 12, etc. Till it comes down to the wire.
Yeah,
and
look how they
all-
vote.
Yeah, look how they vote.
It was like a theatrical
Proof is in the
show.
pudding.
I don't think that, as you see in Olympia and you see in Congress today, I don't believe that you have a choice. Not if you want to ever get anything done in Congress. You have to play the game, and there's no other way of doing it. That's why you've got to have term limits to get people out who control everything.
Don't you think,
So there
though,
is
with the
no game.
results of the current elections, that might change a bit? That they realize...
The only problem with term limits is, do you think you have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for in a free country?
Pardon?
Do you believe you have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for in a free country?
Well, I believe that the only way to keep the country free is to make sure that the people who are there the longest don't call the shots on every move.
Right,
And
but
that's
whose
exactly-
responsibility is that?
You could move them out, I guess, if they were
It's our job,
elected.
right?
It wasn't elected.
We haven't done our job as voters.
Yeah.
Because the problem with term limits is, and this is where I disagree, I understand the need for term limits, okay? I do, I get it. I understand the need for term limits. But if we as citizens were doing our job, it wouldn't be necessary. And if you have term limits, you're gonna get rid of 100% of the people that are part of the solution and not part of the problem. You're gonna get rid of Jim DeMint, you're gonna get rid of Michelle Bachmann, you're gonna get rid of Mike Pence. These patriots that are part of the solution, they will be gone, and there is no guarantee that the people that replace them will be any better. What gives me hope is the Tea Party movement, the 9/12 movement, the Campaign for Liberty movement. We are slowly taking the country back, and we're getting rid of these rhinos, these people that are part of the problem, and we're replacing them with people that are part of the solution.
Now, you're campaigning under the R, right?
Yeah,
Republican.
yeah.
How do you feel about the independents?
The independents are swaying conservative right now. You mean as voters?
Mhm.
They're leaning conservative, and even in the first district, and this, I have James to thank for this too, but I think it was 64% described themselves as fiscally conservative in the first district. Because people are afraid of this deficit. They're getting it. You know, it's crazy. What was it, 8 trillion when Obama took office? It just had 13?
It's not, we currently collect 980 billion, I believe it is, on income tax.
That's correct. That's correct.
The new figure on the debt without an increase of interest rates is 1.2 trillion payment annually. So if that goes up because interest rate goes up, there's no way to pay the debt.
Yeah, I don't think it's that high now. The interest rate on the national debt is about 1.3%. That's it. You're right, though. What happens if it goes to 5 or 6%, just normal interest rates? The party's over.
Pay our interest.
And this is one of the reasons why they're keeping interest rates artificially low.
But isn't that still doing the same, I mean, that's not good either.
No, the inmates are running the asylum. With my apologies to inmates in asylums.
What are some of the things that you could tell us to do, now that we've,
Get involved in my candidacy.
Okay, have you
Pull out
ever,
your checkbook.
have you considered doing some of the, will you walk in some of the festivals that are
Yeah, we're gonna
around?
do festivals, we're gonna do parades.
Good.
No, we need more volunteers. What I would encourage you to do, whether it's my campaign or someone else's campaign, and I would say this even if I wasn't running for office, I believe this with all my heart, get behind a candidate. Because if we don't get those clowns out of there, nothing else matters. You know, you go to Tea Party events, we're all preaching to the choir. They're great, it's camaraderie, it gets us energized and everything. It's not gonna change anything
That's
back
exactly
there.
right.
They're not listening. It's like me yelling at the TV. It does no good. You know, they're not listening. We have to get people elected. So give your resources, give your time, get behind a candidate. That's the best thing that you can do. And get behind somebody, me hopefully, if not me, somebody else, that you're really excited about. You know, and someone that sticks to constitutional principles.
The founding fathers thought it was a great sacrifice to work in government.
Right.
Because they were almost all farming of some kind, agriculture, and had these huge estates, but they gave up being at home to run their place, to go to DC and do the
You
legislation.
mean they didn't have lifetime pensions back then?
No, they didn't ever think this would be a profession
No.
to be in politics.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And none of them wanted to do it.
No, it was a sacrifice. I don't want to do this. I really don't. I hate meetings. I've got little patience for nonsense.
No.
Is that coming through?
But
I have to do this. There's a big difference. I have to do it.
it's so mind-boggling, and just a quick observation. When he was pushing healthcare, the whole country was saying the economy, it's the economy stupid for unemployment or whatever. Now it's the golf, the economy and unemployment, and they're starting a national campaign on healthcare again. It's like.
What?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. They're bringing
Yeah, they're
it
trying to sell it. They've got it passed. That's not good
They're trying to
enough.
resell it.
They're trying to sell the people.
Yeah,
Yes.
For the election.
to get public opinion their
And
way.
it's being funded by 2 private organizations.
That's
And
the only way.
I hear that, like, what, there's no connection.
I saw the story
Yeah, but the only
yesterday
way-
that they're going to attack unemployment and be tough on business. Who do you think hires these people? The zoo?
The only way that they could take back Congress is to get the elderly on the healthcare side. Because everybody is opposed to healthcare, and so he's out there trying to sell all the benefits. And I think that this guy figured that because maybe he went to Harvard, that everybody else is stupid except he and his cronies.
No, the whole bunch of them think that way. You know,
The
someone
arrogance is just.
with questionable sanity would say, all of our current entitlements are going bankrupt. So I've got a great idea. Let's start a new one.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Feed these people up.
People that think that way need help.
Tim, I just, sitting behind the camera, I just want to say we're all here for you, for your generation to, because
Yeah.
if we don't do anything,
Well, this Tim.
you're,
There's no other Kim in the room.
seriously, if we don't do anything now, you're gonna have a horrible life.
So I'm doing this for my kids. But you know what? It's not just our kids. This stuff will hit us.
Right, it's gotten to the point where now it's.
Right around the corner,
Yeah.
they're just not saying.
Yeah, if you think our kids
We
are
used
gonna
to
mop
say
this
our
up,
kids.
it'll happen before then.
That's
There's
very
no
true.
way to keep inflation down, you have to raise interest rates.
And they can't, because they can't afford the
They
interest on the
can't
national
afford the
debt.
bond,
Well,
it's gonna happen.
Volker was Carter's guy.
Yep.
And Volker continued to raise the interest rates during Carter, that basically bankrupted the real estate industry.
Yep.
There was very few people left at 18% interest. And
remember.
and there was nothing you could do about it. And you had to get that amateur out of office the same way this amateur has to get out of office.
Well, keeping them artificially low is not healthy either.
No, I think
That's
you
what
gotta
helped
hit
cause
the
this.
market, hit bottom.
Yeah, and see, prior recessions, they were able to lower interest rates to stimulate the economy. How do you put them below zero?
Yeah, correct. They would lower it
Send
to
us
a
a
quarter
check.
point to the stock.
Well, they're already doing that, right?
And it's a year after the stimulus package and unemployment's creeping back. up
Yep,
again.
and the stat of all stats is you look at the average length that people have been unemployed, and I don't remember what it is now, but it's, I think, over 20 weeks. And that number is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
And people are dropping off the unemployment rate, the unemployment rolls, because they're giving up. And that's why the real unemployment rates, I think it's called U6, is closer to 20%.
Right.
When you count the underemployed.
Yeah, I was just thinking you can shut the cameras off.
And, you know, look at the census joke. And